Good day, classmate and engineering Solly. Today we're gonna present you Picard Part 5 Airworthiness. To start up, next slide please. Picard Part 5 present regulatory requirements for airworthiness of aircraft expected to operate in the Republic of the Philippines using the standard and recommended practices in ICAO Annexes 6 and 8. Applicability. Next slide. This regulation prescribes the requirements for certification of aircraft and aeronautical components, issuance of certificate of airworthiness and other certification of for aeronautical products, continued airworthiness of aircraft and aeronautical components, rebuilding and modification, maintenance and preventive maintenance, aircraft inspection and requirements, and air operator aircraft maintenance and inspection requirements. Next slide, please. For the purpose of Part 5, the following definition shall apply. Continuing airworthiness. In this part, complies with the applicable airworthiness requirements and remains in the condition for safe operation throughout its operation life. Major modification means an alteration not listed in the aircraft that might affect weight, balance, structural strength, performance, power plant operations, flight characteristic, or other qualities affecting airworthiness. Maintenance release. A certification confirming that the maintenance applied is according to the standard of airworthiness. Major repair. Major repair means repair that, if improperly done, might applicable affect weight, balance, structural strength, performance, power plant, operation, flight characteristic, or other qualities affecting airworthiness. Modification. The alteration of an aircraft/aeronautical product is conformity with an approved standard. Next slide, please. Preventive maintenance. Simple or minor preservation operation and the replacement of small standard parts. Overall, the restoration of an product of an aircraft aeronautical, including disassembly, cleaning, and inspection as permitted, repair as necessary, and reassemble, and tested in accordance with the approved standard. Reveal the restoration of an aircraft/aeronautical product by using method, techniques, and practices acceptable. Return to service, RTS, a document signed by an authorized representative of an approved maintenance organization or AMO. Next slide, please. State of design. The contracting state in which approved by the original type certificate or which approved by the design of an aeronautical product or appliance. State of manufacture. The state having jurisdiction over the organization responsible for the final assembly of the aircraft engine or propeller. State of registry. The contracting state on which register the aircraft is entered. Abbreviation. The following acronyms are used in the Part 5. AOC, AMO, MEL, PIC, TSO. PICAR Part 5.2, Aircraft and Component Original Certification. 5.3, Supplemental Type Certificates. Next presenter, please.
PICAR 5.4, Certificate of Airworthiness. Eligibility. Any registered aircraft in the Philippines can apply for the certificate as long as they do it in a manner acceptable to the authority. Classifications of Certificate of Airworthiness. The standard Certificate of Airworthiness is issued to an aircraft depending on its category and model with respect to its state of design. In addition, a special Certificate of Airworthiness is available, or also known as Special Flight Permit. Amendment of Certificate of Airworthiness. As it is, the authority may amend or modify a Certificate of Airworthiness, first, upon application from an operator, and second, on its own initiative. Effective dates of a Certificate of Airworthiness. To sum it all up, as long as the certificate is not surrendered, suspended, revoked, or a termination date is otherwise established by the authority, the certificate is valid. For example, the Standard Certificate of Airworthiness, Special Certificate of Airworthiness, and Certificate of Airworthiness are valid for 1 whole year as long as the maintenance and other alterations are done accordingly with the aircraft registered in the Philippines. On the other hand, special flight permits are only effective depending on the specified validity in the permit. For the experimental certificate, the certificate is also valid for 1 whole year unless the authority prescribes a shorter period of time. In addition, the certificate is for research and development only. Lastly, if an aircraft is imported in the Philippines along with its certificate of airworthiness from the contracting state, the Republic of the Philippines may issue a validation that the original certificate of the aircraft along with the certificate from the Philippines is acceptable. Aircraft identification. As it is, each applicant for a certificate of airworthiness shall show that the aircraft is properly registered and marked, including identification plates, as required by Civil Aviation Regulation, Part 4. Experimental certificates. Experimental certificates are issued for the following purposes. First, research and development like testing of new aircraft designs and equipment, etc. Second, conducting flight tests and other operations to show compliance with the airworthiness regulations. Third, training of the applicant's flight crews. Fourth, exhibition like testing the aircraft's capabilities, performance, or unusual characteristics. Fifth, air racing. Sixth, market service like sales demonstration. Seventh, operation of amateur-built aircraft like testing the aircraft's capabilities, which were built by fabricating of components solely for the purpose of education. For the last one, operation of kit-built aircraft like operating an aircraft that was assembled by a person without supervision and quality control. Special flight permits. A special flight permit is issued to an aircraft that does not meet the requirements of airworthiness but is capable of safe flying. The following are the purpose of special flight permits. First, flying the aircraft to a base where repairs, alterations, or maintenance are to be performed. Second, delivering or exporting the aircraft. Third, the testing of newly produced aircraft as well as conducting customer demonstration flights. Lastly, a special flight permit is issued to aircraft flying over its maximum certified takeoff weight because of the availability of fueling facilities over its flight path. Take note that the excess weight is limited to fuel only. Application for a certificate of noise compliance. The certificate of noise compliance shall be signed by the operator or owner of the aircraft, and evidence that the aircraft meets the required noise emission levels should also be presented. And lastly, weighing of aircraft. For all aircraft registered in the Philippines, when used for commercial or aerial work, reweighing should be done every 3 years, but when used for general aviation, it is done every 5 years. Next presenter, please.
So, good day everyone. For the 5.5 continued airworthiness aircraft components. For applicability, the rules under 5.5 are in effect to the registered aircraft in the Philippines, inside or outside its border. Responsibility, the owner or lessee of the aircraft is responsible for maintaining the aircraft airworthiness. We have 4 key points: overall maintenance, overhaul, modification and repairs, certifying the aircraft airworthiness. Next is the maintenance release, certifying the maintenance work is in accordance. Lastly, if there are discrepancies, the maintenance release must include the uncorrected item and to the aircraft permanent record. For the general, no person may perform anything to the aircraft, only prescribed personnel only. No person may operate an aircraft that has airworthiness limitation section unless approved under Part 9 and Part 8. Next is no person may operate a nautical product that has airworthiness directive from either state of design, registry, or to the authority. For the next one is when the authority sees the aeronautical product as unsafe condition that also exists in other product with the same type of design, the authority may issue a airworthiness directive. Lastly, the authority shall ensure that all information for the continued airworthiness in respect of the state of registry is transmitted to the state of design. Next is for the reporting of failures, malfunction, and defects. How to report such things? The owners and operator with MTO of 5,700 for airplane, 3,175 for helicopter is responsible to report to the authority and responsible organization. The 3 included are some of the example problems. And then a report shall be written within 3 working days when they sought a problem and must include an information available. For the next part, CND, if state of registry is available, they will submit the report to the state of design. If not, the authority will submit the report upon the receipt to the state of registry. For the letter E, when the report is about engine or propeller, a report will be sent to the organization responsible for its type of design and to the aircraft type of design. Lastly, when there are modifications that affects continuing airworthiness safety issue, the state of registry is responsible in transmitting the information to the organization for the design of modification. And for the approval of materials, parts, process, and application, for the applicability, these are the procedural requirements for approval. For the replacement and modification part, no person may perform a modification unless from parts manufacturer approval. But this don't apply to part of product under production certificate, parts fabricated by the owner, or parts from an established industry standard. For application for parts manufacturer approval, it must include the identity of the product, the name and address where the parts manufactured, and the design of the parts. And when needed an approval, it may be approved by the parts manufacturer, the technical standard order, the conjunction of type of certificate procedures for a product, and in other matter approved by the authority. Lastly, damage to aircraft. In this part, basically, the CAAP is authorized to judge whether the aircraft is still worthy or not. And for the contracting state, they are entitled to prevent the aircraft to resume the flight or not, and advise CAAP immediately. Next presenter, please.
5.6 Aircraft Maintenance and Inspection. Applicability. This subpart prescribes rules governing the maintenance and inspection of any aircraft. Having a Republic of the Philippines certificate of airworthiness or associated aeronautical products. The persons authorized to perform maintenance subject to this subpart includes here the authorized person who will be involved here is the one who is rated aviation maintenance technician. B. All the aircraft involved in commercial operations shall be maintained and returned to service after a maintenance release has been signed by an organization approved in accordance with Part 6. See, in this subpart, it says that maintenance, preventive maintenance, modifications, inspection, and approval for return to service. These are the only thing that can perform by the authorized person or a licensed aviation maintenance technician. Persons authorized to perform maintenance. No person may perform any task defined as maintenance on an aircraft except as provided in the following. Licensed aviation maintenance technician may perform or supervise if there is an available supervisor that observes personally to ensure the work is being done properly. Authorized personnel to approve for return to service. After performing an authorized preventive maintenance, a pilot has the authority to return his or her aircraft to service, and aviation maintenance technician may approve all aircraft and aeronautical products after he or she supervise or inspect all those things. Person authorized to perform inspection. An aviation maintenance technician may conduct the required inspection of aircraft and aeronautical products for which he or she is rated and current, except on aircraft involved in commercial operation. 5.7 Maintenance records and entries. Content, form, and disposition of maintenance, preventive maintenance, rebuilding, and modification records. Each person who maintains an aircraft or aeronautical product shall have a description or reference to the data acceptable to the authority of work who perform, completion of date, and also name and signature who perform, certificate number and license holder, the person approving the work. Records of overhaul and rebuilding. No person may describe in any required maintenance entry or form an aeronautical product as being overhauled unless it has been inspected as permitted, repaired as necessary, and reassembled using method, techniques, and practices acceptable to the authority. And no one may describe an aircraft or other aeronautical product as rebuilt in any required maintenance entry or form unless it has been disassembled or cleaned and tested to the same tolerance and limits as a new item. Approval for return to service after maintenance, preventive maintenance, rebuilding, or modification. The repair or modification form authorized by or furnished by the authority for international aviation has been executed in the manner prescribed. The appropriate maintenance record entry has been made. The last one is content, form, and disposition of record for inspection. Here it includes maintenance record, entries, type of inspection, date of inspection, signature, the license number, and kind of license held by the person approving. Next presenter, please.
These are the insight about PICAR Part 5 airworthiness implementing standard. Number 1 is major modification, major repair, preventive maintenance, noise emission standards, noise evaluation method and certification, documentation, elementary work, performance rules, 100-hour inspection, recording of major repair and major modification. For more detailed information about PICAR Part 5 and its implementing standards, you can visit CAA website.